Welcome to Founders 50, where we aim to inspire future generations. And this is a very special one today because I'm joined by the absolute icon of Panama real estate, José Manuel Bern, and we're here in Empresas Bern's new HQ. So, man, amazing.
Glad to have you. Glad to have you. We're excited to be here.
Okay, so I want to ask you a few things. I might put you on the spot a bit right now, but I want something we talk about regularly, you and I, is where Panama's heading in the next 3 to 5 years. Because I feel like we're on the edge of a real estate boom, and I think you feel kind of the same way.
Trust your feelings. I think we're onto something there.
Yeah, we are.
No, fantastic. Listen, the last 2 years have been great for Panama. I think we were kind of late coming out of the pandemic closures and whatnot, but I think we're fully recovered and picking up steam. I mean, we just got named the best place in the world to buy a second property as a retirement package. And it's not the region, it's not the Americas, it's the world. I mean, it doesn't get much better than that. And I think in terms of real estate, we're just going to go through the roof. If things continue to do well as they are, I think that Panama is going to be a great investment. I mean, if you guys have been to Dubai and had the opportunity to go there this year, I think there's a lot of similarities. Obviously, a much smaller market here in Latin America. But I do see a lot of similarities in how the market is behaving and just picking up more and more steam. People are looking for that quality of life. And nowadays, I think that's the number one concern in everybody's mind.
I think as well, you combine Panama, number one place to live for expats and retirees. Just been ranked actually in Forbes, by the way. Combine that with Canadians getting taxed into an oblivion. The US, very divided at the moment. So politically, people are looking for that plan B. They're looking for permanent residency in another country. Here you can get that for 300,000 real estate. So a lot of people looking at that. And in Europe, they're starting to feel unsafe many areas, and that's driving a huge amount of people to Panama. And I think Empresas Bern, when it comes to you guys, obviously you're key partners for us. But something critical in a property is not the first 1 to 5 years, it's after that. You're building, holding up longevity of the property and the project, and you know, you guys have been around, is it 40, 45 years?
47 years or something like that. And it's been a while.
Exactly. So you have that prestige, and you guys know how to build. You built half the city skyline. I remember you showing me that visual where it's like we literally built half the skyline. So when it comes to investing, you guys are right up there as you know, I would put you as number one in the whole.
Oh, thank you. You're being too kind.
I had to say that. So something else I want to talk to you about. You're right at the top when it comes to real estate. Actually, you're someone that I look up to myself. For future aspiring realtors, and there's a lot of them in the city, what does it take to get to the top? Your team is incredible. I look at people like Alexandra, Liz, for example. They're right at the top of the game. Some of the most inspiring leaders out there, and obviously yourself. What does it take to get to the top of the field?
Well, it is a lot of hard work, I think, and dedication to what you're doing. I mean, but number one, I'd say if you have to love what you do. If you love what you do, you're going to be very successful at it. And in our organization, the best compensated people are the salespeople. And they're from all kinds of backgrounds. I mean, I've had pharmacists, lawyers, engineers, I mean, you name it, have gone into sales. And a lot of them have done very, very well, but after a lot of hard work. But I would say you have to have it in you. You know, if you like what you do, if you love what you do, you're going to do really well in this business. And I do think that the next few years are going to be incredible for us. We are on the cusp of a boom. We've been experiencing it for the last 2 years. And I'm pretty confident that the next 2 to 3 years are just going to be fantastic. And even a little bit further after that, we still may be doing very well. Things in the world are changing, and we see those changes. That volatility in the markets is really helping us as a safe haven for people looking for another place to live. And considering a great connectivity here in Panama, reasonable prices, and you know, people like yourself. I mean, you're the greatest testament to what we're talking about here. You guys have been living here how long?
6 years.
6 years. You like it?
I love Panama.
Well, there you go.
Saying up good things about Panama.
I'm from here. You would expect me to say nice things about my country, but for somebody who has lived here for 6 years and lived all over the world before that, to actually decide on Panama, that's voting with your feet right there. No?
Exactly. And you said something really important there. I want to go back to. You mentioned pharmacists and people of other professions. You don't need to have a real estate background to go and enter into real estate and do well. You can
Not at all.
build real estate up and you can run with it. Obviously, you have to be licensed, but you can pick it up and you can be great at it and you can enjoy what you do. There's probably a lot of people watching this who are in their corporate jobs and they're not happy and they're looking for that alternative option. So for those guys, it's good for them to know that there is that other world out there. And I have to say, like, real estate is amazing. Like, I'm having this conversation with
and listen, a lot of things are going to change technology-wise in the next few years. But one thing that's not going to change is people like a good place to live, a nice place with the best amenities you can possibly have. So, buildings that we built 47 years ago are still, very sturdy and strong, very well built, obviously, by their standards back in the day. But I think the state of the art nowadays in terms of amenities, locations, real estate continuously changes, and it usually changes for the better. And I think that's something that can keep us all up on our toes, looking for that new opportunity, that new project that's really going to attract people's interest. And like I said, it's all about quality of life. That's what we actually sell in real estate, quality of life, either for a corporate client, if you want to keep your employees happy, you have to have good digs, nice setup, or for personal use, you also want to have, since we spend so much time at home nowadays, especially with remote work, you want to have all the conveniences you can possibly have. So you have to keep your projects, we're just talking a little bit before about our collection for the year 2028. We're already working on that. So it's quite a dynamic sector, and I enjoy it very much. And most of the people here are under 35, as a matter of fact, and in the main office. Obviously, we have people with a lot of experience that have been with us for over 20 years, and I take great pride in that, having such a low turnover, relatively speaking. But hey, the more the merrier, so it's a great time to get into real estate.
And you mentioned buildings staying sturdy and staying strong and staying with high quality. Parkside, Riverside, you guys built those. They're some of the easiest to rent still. And when was Parkside built?
Parkside was built about 8 years ago already.
8 years ago. So there's your proof.
Yep.
8 years ago, still, when something comes up there in rent, my team, instantly, it's done. So,
and even before that, we have Riverside. That's a little bit older. Must be a dozen years now. Riverside, a very similar concept. Riverside, then Parkside, and now Nogal, which are basically in the same line of
exactly.
development.
And there's one more residential building coming to Costa del Este. It's not yet launched, but we can talk a little bit about the concept. So 80 to 100 square meters. Mm-hmm. That's prime units in Costa del Este, 200 multinationals in the area. That project, talk to me a little bit about that. That's going to be a big hit on the residential side.
Yeah, that's Aurum, and you guys are going to be having the first go at it. I think it's going to be a very exciting project because it continues in this line of development that we've been very successful in the past. Riverside and Parkside, Nogal, and now Aurum are going to be catering to that expat market that's basically here. And you want to be very clear on who you're going to be renting out your unit to, and we have the clients right here.
Exactly. And a lot of people look for that short-term, there's short-term properties. Actually, people tend to obsess about that moment, but the residential is consistent, steady returns. And the clientele in these types of residences at the moment, Aurum is going to be another version of Parkside, Riverside, and Nogal. Instant rentals and that long-term security of having a client.
Sure. And I think there's still a lot of business to be done in that segment because we continue to see more and more people deciding about Panama, and that's the beauty of it. People bring people, and more people bring money. And our economy is going to continue to grow as long as we can attract that foreign investment, both from the corporate enterprises that set up shop here and from the retirees that decide to buy a unit in Panama.
Exactly. Last couple of things I want to talk about. First one, the Westin residences. That project, I've never seen anything sell that quickly.
Neither have I. Disclaimer right here.
We were saying this. It's incredible, international. I remember the Panamanian Realty. We even had clients in Iceland buy into this project. You've got international clients from all over the world. What does a global brand like Marriott, adding that to a property, what does that do? Two things. What does that do for the project? And B, looking at Metro line going in around the area, Veracruz, I believe, is becoming an arm of the city, geographically restricted. You've got the bridge. and then rumored to be a golf course going in behind. So you have all these things that are adding future value.
Yep.
Talk to me a little bit about that project and where you see, because obviously Phase B is releasing soon.
Yep.
Talk to me about the value that that can offer to clients.
Absolutely. When you're dealing with a global brand like Marriott, it gives the client certain levels of assurances that you cannot obtain just from a local brand. I mean, we're pretty well known here in Panama, but internationally, Marriott is a huge, huge player. It's the biggest there is in terms of residential tourism. And even though the actual agreement was, it took a while to get that deal done. It took almost 2 years. It is very much worthwhile because it's an additional security for clients as far away as from Finland, no, in Iceland. That's about a property sight unseen, basically on the Marriott brand. And I do see that as an important assurance to have for our international clientele. And 95% of what we're selling nowadays is international. So it definitely goes to show that having that association with an international brand, a strong brand as Marriott is with Westin Residences, has really made a big difference in the launch of that project. In very little time, we've achieved almost a third of sales. And that just gives you an idea of how strong that relationship really is. Now, in terms of Playa Bonita, the proximity to the city is going to change, not in length, distances obviously is going to be the same, but in time. And I do see that, with the completion of the bridge, and as you cross in the Bridge of the Americas nowadays, you look to the right-hand side, we already see about a 30% advancement on that bridge. And the rest of the structure is really going to come up very strongly at the end of this year. You're going to see the actual high-rises. And it's going to tie in nicely with the completion of Westin Residences, because both the bridge and Westin Residences should be done about at the same time. Yeah. And I was just talking about this morning with a friend, and he's saying, that Westin is going to be basically in a suburbia of the city of Panama. It's going to take you the same time as you go from Costa del Este to downtown Panama as going from Westin Residences to downtown Panama. So it's going to be a huge change. And at the same time, you're within that 1 hour radius of the international airport. And I cannot stress how important that is, particularly for beach residents like Westin Residences. It's key. I mean, you can take a flight, all over the world, basically from the Tocumen airport, and within 45 minutes or 30 minutes during the weekends, you can get into Playa Bonita. That's really, for us, Westin Residences has no competitors in Panama. We're competing at the regional level with the Dominican Republic, with Mexico, with other projects in the area, but nothing in Panama itself.
It's essentially, I don't want to call it a monopoly, because we're probably not allowed to use those terms, but it's essentially a monopoly. Like, you don't have competition to get to a beach residence. The nearest one outside of that is going to be like over an hour away.
Monopolies tend to be seen as a bad thing. The only bad thing is not having one. No, remember that. But yes, you're absolutely right. I think that proximity is key, and it's something that's not going to change. But at the same time, the delta you're going to see in terms of infrastructure getting into the project with the new bridge, even Metro line is going to be going across into Panama Pacifico. That's going to be a huge delta, and it can only get better, I think, in terms of value.
Yeah, those things add value to your project. They're huge. So last thing, Jose, you're not only a very inspiring leader, but you're also a very humble one.
Oh, come on. José Manuel Bern. Yeah, that's my middle name. Everybody says it, right? Wink, wink.
If I was to ask you a couple of things that, to inspire the future generation to be able to get to the top, it might not be in real estate, but to get to the levels that you've got to, and to build what you've built, to get to that level, like, what would you kind of summarize as key learnings for anyone watching this that's younger and looking up to you?
I would put it to you this way. There are no wrong decisions, okay? You just have to make decisions. And I think, obviously, if you are fortunate enough to work in an industry or in a sector that you really like, ideally that you love, you're going to do well. You have to believe in yourself. I mean, obviously, when we're talking here about a project that hasn't been off the ground yet, Westin Residences. Yeah. But I have to sell you the idea of how great it's going to be once the 30th floor, where you have your B unit looking into the ocean, and you have a wine glass in your hand. You have to be able to project that confidence. And I don't know if humble would be the right word. If my wife watches this, she's really going to have a fit about humble. But I do think that you have to believe in yourself and say, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to put it together. I have great partners that are going to be helping me along the way. And you do have to get help. You cannot do it as a one-man show. You have to have great people with you. And and I think it'll all work out. But you have to make decisions. The worst thing is not making a decision and just, being in some kind of limbo. Make decisions. And some time ago, somebody had this interview, this very successful man. They asked him, what's the secret of success? And he says, well, you have to make good decisions. He says, and how do you get to good decisions? Well, you get that with experience. And how do you get to the experience? Bad decisions.
And I was literally about to say to you, I've heard so many top leaders say, just take action, but I was going to ask you, you've made a few mistakes. And you're not shy about it. You're not shy about it.
No, plenty. Can't make an omelet without breaking eggs. You know how that goes.
Man, I couldn't agree more. So anyone watching this, take the risk, take action.
Yeah.
And you're going to make a few mistakes. Panamanian Realty, we're the same. We made a few mistakes along the way, but we were winning awards with you last year.
Hey, and same this year. We're going for them again.
Hey, man, thank you so much.
You got it.
That's a hell of an interview.